JLCooper Electronics, a leader in the music industry and a pioneer in the development of professional products. SMPTE synchronizers, MIDI switching systems, MIDI technology, automation technology. Now, JLCooper introduces the cutting edge in console automation, MAGI II. Mixer Automated Gain Interface. The MAGI II console automation system provides you with precise control over audio levels while mixing down for multitrack. It offers the same powerful automation features found in systems typically costing $50,000 or more. Mix down and post-production are often the most time-consuming and costly parts of the recording process. It can be extremely difficult to get the exact mix that's required. JLCooper Electronics has developed the MAGI II to solve your mix-down problems in a system that's powerful and easy to use. MAGI II provides you with all the features you need in an affordable package. Jim Cooper, Chief Engineer and President of JLCooper Electronics, is an authority on the development of SMPTE, MIDI, and automation process technologies. He realized the need for a console automation system that would make production an easier and more accurate process. Since automation allows precision control of fader and mute moves, a consistent and elaborate mix can be quickly constructed, saved, and reloaded months later if necessary. The MAGI II is a second-generation product backed by over 3 years of research and development. It's easy to install and extremely efficient. It's like having extra hands to help control your mix. The MAGI II system is available in 16, 32, 48, and 64-channel configurations. A 16-channel system can easily be expanded by adding Maggie VCA 16 modules as needed. MAGI II consists of the rack-mounted controller unit with a built-in SMPTE reader generator. While automating your mix, MAGI II can even send MIDI timecode to your sequencer. And, unlike many systems, you won't need to purchase an external synchronizer. MAGI II utilizes professional quality 2150 dBx VCAs. This provides total transparency as well as responsive control of audio levels. The new MR3 remote fader unit has 16 channel faders and 4 subgroup faders. It also offers muting and 4 independent mute subgroups. Bank switching, fader and mute assignments allow the MR3's smooth 100mm faders to control up to 64 VCA channels. The addition of the MR3 to the existing MR1 and MR2 remote fader family from JLCooper Electronics creates a wide variety of configurations, flexible enough for virtually any mix-down application. MAGI II, a disk-based system, effectively uses your Macintosh Plus, SE, Mac II, 2X, 2CX, or Atari ST series computers for storage, control, and visual editing of your mix. The system also offers our exclusive auto archive feature that allows each mix to be saved to disk automatically as soon as the tape machine stops. This prevents accidental editing or erasure of important mixes and lets you keep your mind on the mix. Mixes are stored to the computer's hard drive or standard 3.5-inch diskettes. MAGI II sets up quickly in your studio. After removing MAGI II from the box and installing it in your rack, you will need to hook up a few cables. First, you'll need to get Maggie's VCA modules patched into the console. The most flexible way to incorporate MAGI II into your studio is to insert it into points on the patch bay. Terminations on the back of the Maggie VCA-16 are standard quarter-inch tip ring sleeve connections. The SMPTE in and out connections on the back of the controller module utilize a single track of your tape machine. An optional foot switch can be attached to simplify certain editing operations, enabling you to change edit modes or abort an automation pass without having to access the computer. MIDI in-out jacks connect to your computer to provide graphic display and storage of your mix. Before we get into MAGI II's wealth of features in detail, we're going to show you just how fast and easy it is to get up and running with MAGI II automation. First, stripe the tape by choosing a frame rate and SMPTE start time if necessary. You can experiment at this point to decide how the faders and mutes should be set up for the beginning of the project. Rewind the tape and enable the channels you wish to work with and begin mixing. Fader moves, mutes, mode selection, and subgroup assignments are entered on the MR3 fader unit. On the first pass, Maggie scans all the faders and mutes to capture their initial setup into memory. Without any prompting, it recalls this snapshot anytime you start over to restore all the original settings. A trick often used by professional engineers to reduce tape hiss and noise is to mute tracks while they aren't in use. MAGI II makes this easy by allowing you to enter mutes in real time. Or you can work on one track at a time if necessary to refine your mix. As you can see, MAGI II permits any engineer to obtain a flawless mix in a fraction of the time it would normally take. And once the mix is perfected, it can be saved to disk for future use or reference. One of the highlights of MAGI II is its user interface. Many automation systems practically require a PhD to learn and operate. As you can see, there is nothing complicated to learn. No complex user-hostile software to master, and no 500-page manual to memorize. Mixing with MAGI II is just like mixing the way you always have, only better. Even though the system incorporates many powerful software features like offline editing and MIDI event processing, you don't have to be an expert to do a fantastic mix. The display can be set up to show any arrangement of 16 channels at one time. A total of 15 screens are available to display your choice of fader and mute arrangements. For example, you may set up screen 2 to show your drum mix with the Group 1 fader set as the drum submaster. Other screens could be set up to show different fader arrangements of other components of the mix. Clicking the mouse on these triangles or using the cursor keys on the computer changes to the next screen. With the touch of a key, you can also display 52 channels and 8 groups at the same time. For easy recognition, each channel can also be named with a descriptive label. Each of the 15 screens may be named by typing in a label. The title label at the bottom of the screen always stays in view. Most of the visuals shown on the computer are also represented right on the MR3. The MR3 can be used to control up to 64 audio channels. Mode can be changed by clicking on the mode selection switch, pressing the mode button on the MR3, or pressing the foot switch. The null LEDs above each fader are used to supplement the computer graphics as an aid to mixing. These LEDs are used to permit seamless mix editing. LEDs are lit whenever the real hardware fader is set to the exact same level as the VCA. The last 4 faders and mutes act as group masters, and it is possible to make group assignments so that moving one group master fader or selecting one mute will simultaneously affect the level of multiple channels. The mode bar shows the mode of each channel. RD stands for read, WR represents write, and UP means update. Manual mode is used to experiment with a mix and also to establish what the initial fader and mute setup should be at the beginning of a session. Manual moves are not stored to memory. Read mode is used for playing back fader and mute moves stored in MAGI II's memory while locked to SMPTE. Write mode is the mode in which fader and mute moves are recorded into memory. When a fader is put into write mode, fader and mute moves will replace or overwrite any previously recorded moves on that audio channel. Update mode is a special editing mode. Fader moves that you have previously recorded will not be overwritten or replaced. The relative moves will be left intact, but the overall gain will be rescaled. The phantom fader shows the position of the real hardware fader when the hardware fader is at a different position than the VCA level. When in the update mode, a box indicates the position of the hardware fader when first enabled. When the phantom fader is moved from within the box, gain is added or subtracted from the original fader moves. For example, say that you have made some very complicated fader moves while riding a guitar track in write mode. You roll back tape to audit what you've done, and you like the results, but you just wish that the whole track were a bit softer. Update mode would allow you to shift the level up or down by adding or subtracting from the fader moves already entered, without having to re-enter all the moves. Additional information is conveniently displayed on the computer screen. The memory remaining indicator shows the percentage of available computer memory. SMPTE time displays hours, minutes, seconds, frames. When MAGI II stops receiving SMPTE, the last time received is locked on the screen in shaded numbers. The subgroup mute bar shows if a given channel has been assigned to a mute subgroup by displaying the subgroup number above the channel. The word ON appears above any muted channel or subgroup. The subgroup fader bar shows if a channel has been assigned to a fader subgroup by displaying the subgroup number above the channel. Load will allow you to load selected files of previously saved mix data and screen preferences. Save is used to manually save mix data and screen preferences onto disk if you have not been using Auto Archive. Erase memory clears all fader and mute moves in the computer's RAM memory without erasing labels and screen setups. When selected, Auto Archive automatically backs up your mix data to disk every time MAGI II stops detecting incoming sync. Labels will be used to clear out all fader, screen, and song labels. Color, for the Atari ST only, is used to change the appearance of the screen. This allows you to precisely tailor the appearance of the screen to suit your personal preference. Mode sequence determines the order in which the fader edit modes will be selected when changing modes. Now that a rough mix has been committed to memory, you can take advantage of MAGI II's powerful editing utilities for fine-tuning your mix. When MAGI II is locked to tape and automating the VCAs, every fader move that you made in the write mode is being played back. You may selectively rewrite, that is replace, any fader moves in any section of the song or score. Simply fast wind the tape to a point a few seconds before the offending fader moves. Remember, the shaded fader represents the position of the hardware fader. Slide the fader until the two faders are superimposed. Now enable the fader and enter the new moves for a seamless edit. To rescale fader moves without actually replacing them, enter the update mode. Any existing moves can be rescaled without rewriting the move altogether. It is possible to make group assignments so that moving one group master fader or selecting one mute will simultaneously affect the level of several channels. It is possible to abort a pass if a mistake is made while mixing and you want MAGI II's memory to revert back to the last pass. To abort, hold down the space bar or the foot switch a little before stopping the tape and continue holding it down until the tape stops. When you are ready to commit your mix down, first put MAGI II into read mode using either the mode selection switch, the mouse, or a foot switch. Professional recording environments are finding the purchase of an automation system not just a luxury, but a necessity just to stay competitive in the ever-growing recording business. And we're not done yet. Version 3 software, scheduled to ship first quarter of 1990, will enhance MAGI II even further by adding graphic editing of fader events and MIDI controllers and more. All registered MAGI II owners will receive software updates free of charge. As you can see, MAGI II can dramatically expand your flexibility in the recording environment. You'll be able to refine your mixes like never before. And just imagine the time and money you'll save using MAGI II in your creative recording process. The MAGI II Automation System from JLCooper Electronics. Find out for yourself how automation can make your mixing and engineering tasks more pleasurable with total precision and accuracy. Contact JLCooper Electronics today for the name of the authorized MAGI II automation dealer in your area.